guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So it's time for the Mastercraft 10-inch drill press review. So I've had this thing for a little bit. I've used it quite a bit actually so far. And I gotta tell you, I'm pretty much enjoying this thing really well. Quite actually surprised too with it for the size. It does a nice job. The LED light actually works really well. Just uses a couple of batteries that go in the side box here. They're little AAAs, and they actually come with the drill press, which is great. I actually bought double A's because the box looked big enough to fit doubles. I didn't read the box at the store, you know, but it came with triples, and I was like, darn, now I got 2 extra batteries. Oh wait, I got a mouse in the house, you know, for my computer, right? So anyway, so I got to stock up on AAA's, I guess. But a couple little LEDs in there. They're on an angle that works great to really light up your workspace nice, so I like that. So let's try and get this evened up a little more. The table is actually only a little bit bigger than a table that you'll find on an 8-inch drill press. So basically this is kind of like a little bit of a glorified 8-inch, just a little bit bigger, a little bit more meatier type of machine, and not very tall. It's actually sitting on just a normal height table. I do have a pretty honking vise on this thing. It's actually a 3-inch cross slide vise that I've had for quite a long time. And it's great for if I want to do some light milling. Okay, and I meant every word of that light. You can mill on a drill press if you know how. I learned how. Okay, and you can do it very super light and still accomplish something. You're not going to get like pro grade quality output, but you'll be able to get a really good job done at the same time. And if it's something for you, fine. It's not a big deal to not have something, you know, 99.9%, okay? But for a customer, be a smart boy and go buy yourself a real milling machine, because eventually I'm going to get a milling machine again. I'm actually going to get the same one I had before, which is on my YouTube channel. It was actually a 7x20 mill, I believe it was, if I remember right. I'm going to get that same milling machine again probably next year. And then of course I'm going to get another lathe, but I'm going to get a smaller lathe. I'm going to get like a 7x12, because I used to have like what was it, 10x18. But I don't need anything that big for doing what I'm doing nowadays, so I'm just going to get a 7x12. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys this thing in action so you get an idea. Now I've got it set on the lowest RPM rate, which is like 670, I think it is. 620 RPM, which is actually just borderline being a little too fast for drilling metal with, but you know, it's good for doing wood. And I have done metal with it. It works great for metal, you know. Is this locked or unlocked? Oh, I'm at the end of the 2-inch. Hang on. I gotta actually bring this table up. There we go. I was at the end of the throat length. Okay. Now I can relock this. There we go. Now being this is a cross slide vise, I can just go to my next hole spot. It goes in nice and straight, you know. So it's really good. Let's go further down the track. This is maxed out as far as the way the setup is. Right through the other side. Okay, so we got some nice holes in there. My wood piece was uneven, so as I went from here to here and then from here across, I dug a little groove because my piece of wood wasn't, it was kind of like a little bit cocked. But for doing this video, I don't care because it's just, to show you, it does drill really nice. It does drill straight in, without wobble. And I seen a video where a guy had actually crabbed about some wobble in it. Wobble can happen from being a slightly out of round bit that some people actually don't notice, believe it or not, when they're looking at their bit spin. They don't actually notice because the bit is kind of deceiving because it's a twist, right? And it's hard to tell, unless you really look careful. But even that, it's still hard to tell sometimes. But I can see quill slop happening in any drill press. Now, with drill presses, they're kind of an item where most of the time you do get what you pay for. Okay? Most of the time. Because I've seen some expensive ones that were pretty crappy too, not just cheaper ones. The job-made drill presses, like I've got another one here, it's an 8-inch. It's actually my third or fourth one I've had. I've never had one, I only had one where I blew the motor on. It was actually not the motor that blew, it was the capacitor, and the replacement capacitor the guy sold me, who said it would work fine with that motor, lied, and it exploded and put the shit everywhere throughout the motor and everything. Electrolytics, when they explode, very nasty. So it actually ruined my motor. I was not happy with that business, let me tell you. And this is a guy who repaired tools for a living. Yeah, okay. Tell why a lot of customers didn't like him anyway. I certainly don't. But anyways, so that's the only time I ever had a problem with a job mate. But with the quill slop complaint that I seen on YouTube from a guy with one of these things, he was talking about the slop. Okay, now there's always a certain amount of movement. A very minimal amount is in pretty much every drill press I've ever come across. I've never come across one that had absolutely zero movement other than in a milling machine. A milling machine, even the milling machine I used to have, there wasn't not even a speck towards getting near, like, I don't know what you would call the number, but it was so dead tight it was insane. Okay, it was if something could be considered, well, I wouldn't even consider it perfect, but it was about 99.99%, okay? I mean, it was really close. It was the stiffest, most accurate quill I've ever seen in my life, and that was in my 7x20 mill. But if you get quill slop, even in a milling machine, you have this little adjuster screw, okay, which is to adjust the slot. Now, what they tell you in the manual for this thing is to turn this all the way down, uncrank the nut, tighten in the screw a bit, and then recrank the nut. Well, in a perfect world, that could be ideal. Although it does work a little bit, I actually found that I had to do a slight more readjustment in the full upward position. Okay? I'm thinking what happened here was it wasn't an absolute proper clean cut. So what I did was I just unloosened it from dead stopped up, tightened it up, and then ran it back and forth a couple times. And now it's like, it's really super tight. Like for flex wise, it's like almost non-existent. So, what that guy was getting, I have no idea what was causing his problem, other than I did mention for him to adjust the quill adjuster on his. And that should solve his problem, because even the manual tells you that even over time, you may have to adjust this from time to time. It's a maintenance thing. You got to understand tools. Whether you're a guy or a girl, and believe me, I've met some women that actually outdo men when it comes to knowledge base of tools. Because more and more women are getting into the trades, whether it be welding, mechanics, machinists, all kinds of stuff. I mean, women are getting pretty competitive with us guys, and they've got good brain pans, these girls. And that's actually really good to see that women are actually taking an interest in a lot of our normal guy things, right? So, although some guys feel threatened, I don't. But anyway, so that's the only thing I ran into with this one, and I solved it that quick. Okay, so that works perfect. I'm happy with that. Great results. As far as speeds go, it is multi-speed. You've got a total of 5 speeds in here. You've got 620, 1150, 1630, 2180, and 3070. It does come with a 1/2-inch drill chuck. Sorry, not half-inch, 5/8. My bad. 5/8 drill chuck is what it comes with. I'm thinking Ryobi here. I looked at a Ryobi 10-inch press, and it actually came with a 1/2-inch chuck. And it was a little bit, I think the price difference, it wasn't a major amount, but it was enough that either way, you're getting way more for your money in the Mastercraft. You know, you're getting a stronger table. You're definitely getting a stronger machine overall. Even the motor is actually a little bit better, I found, in the Mastercraft one. You're getting the same amount of speeds. You still get a safety system, you know. I mean, I kind of like these safety switch things. You just pull it out and like nobody can turn your crap on, you know. So it keeps the kids out of your stuff too. You just got to make sure you pop it back in the right way to be able to use the tool again yourself. There we go. I always leave my switches in because I don't have kids at home anymore, so I don't worry about it. You also have the spring adjuster too, so if you find your retract on your spring might not be, you know, set right because it's too sluggy or it's jamming, you can actually tighten up the spring by just a full rotation, add a little bit more tension to the spring, lock it back down, and away you go. So if you notice any little quirks like that, cast iron base, nice good steel pole, cast iron head. I mean, overall weight, it's not that heavy of a machine, which is kind of nice too. I had that big 16.5-inch drill press that weighed like 1,000,000 pounds. It took like 2 people who could still just like, ah! The thing was like bad for weight. I mean, it was a great drill press, don't get me wrong, I loved it, but I don't need big, massive tools anymore. You know, not for what I'm doing. So anyways, the light's kind of a nice little bonus. I like the light on this one. The Ryobi, if I remember right, I believe it had a laser and the light. This doesn't have a laser, but who cares? Like, good luck with the laser anyways. Are you really going to get everything really lined up that well anyhow? And how well is that laser going to work for you? You know, that's the thing. It's just, to me, the laser's a gimmick. I had a laser on a skill saw, and it was more of a gimmick than anything. It's completely useless. The guide on my rigid saw is much better. It's a slot, and it's like, it lines up with the blade. I keep on the line. I'm good, you know, like you can use a freaking laser. Besides, lasers are hard to see during the daylight hours too. But anyways, the adjuster system is 2 adjusters, one on each side. You loosen them off, suck the motor in, push the motor back to tighten. Away you go. Very basic unit, to be honest. If I remember right, I think I paid like $129 or $149, one of the two. It's on my YouTube channel when I did the unboxing and that on this, what I paid for. But I got it on sale. And it was a great price on sale. I was really happy with the sale price. Couldn't go wrong. Actually, I got most of my tools, I think, at the same price. Even the arms are way better than the Ryobi. I mean, this thing compared to a Ryobi, the Ryobi is like garbage. I mean, sure, it has a laser. Sure, it has a light. This has a light too. You know, just doesn't have a laser. You know. This has the 5/8 chuck. The Ryobi has the 1/2-inch chuck. They're both considered 10-inch machines. This has got more power performance in the engine in comparison to the Ryobi. Ryobi is, I'm not a real fan of their stuff, but you know, at the same time, I'm not going to completely discount the Ryobi stuff because there is a couple of tools that are actually not bad. They do make a really awesome variable speed scroll saw that I'd eventually like to get my hands on because I do like it. My father had one. And it was a really good scroll saw. And I think it's probably actually the nicest scroll saw I've ever used in my life. And that was a Ryobi. But one of these days I do have to get a scroll saw. But anyways, overall, great machine. Had no problems like where I had to, you know, call about or anything like that. Or, you know, I didn't have to take it back. You know, so it's been running since day one. I got it out of the box and I got her all mounted solid on the table now. It ain't going anywhere. Good thing too, by the way, mount the sucker. Now, this vise is overkill actually a little bit for this machine. I had to actually put the bolts in on an angle to hold this vise. This vise actually fit absolutely beautiful and perfect on my 16.5, but it was like angle slots, so that wasn't a big deal. These are straight slots. I think the other thing I did, I think it was the style of the Ryobi table I kind of liked, but either way, this is a lot stronger and heavier duty regardless. But anyways, it does mount. I did manage to get it mounted fine, and it works, and I like having the cross-slide vise. Now, here's another thing I'm going to tell you that's going to prevent drill bit wobble on any drill press. You notice they got 3 holes here. This isn't multiple choice, kids, okay? These 3 holes are here for a specific reason. It's so that you can tighten every jaw of the chuck. Each hole is adjusted with the tension angles being on the jaw teeth. There's 3 teeth, there's 3 holes. You've got to tighten all 3 really tight to get your drill bit to lock firm. But you also got to make sure when you're using your drill bit that it's not full of flipping burrs. Okay, if your drill bit's got any burrs or grooves in it, it's not going to run straight either. You know, and this one is good. You know, so there's no problems with this drill bit. It's nice and smooth the way it should be. It goes in. Some people will tell you, shove your drill bit as far up as you can. No, you don't do that. You just shove it up so that it's just before the twist, about a 1/4 inch before the twist starts is where you want your drill bit. Tighten down number 1, number 2, number 3. But don't go super tight at first. Now you go around a second time and tighten it up the rest of the way. Okay? Now your drill bit is going to run true. And there's no chance of any kind of slop. Because if you get any kind of pull going on, especially when you're drilling metal, that's when you're going to get flex in your drill bit. Because some people tend to go down a little too heavy. You're still going to get flex in your drill bit if you do that. So learn not to go so heavy into metal. Even into wood too. But either way, that is going to run your bit as true as it gets. If your bit is running out of true, then either you got a damaged jaw, or you got something stuck in your jaw, or your drill bit's got a problem, is a more likely case. Okay? Or you did something wrong. Either way, even check your bearing out and see if your bearing is good. You know, I mean, brand new should be good. Take your drill bit out, you just have to loosen off one of these. And that's it. You know, drill bit is out of there. So, just a little bit of extra help for you guys. To me, the drill press, as far as the price goes, I think it's for the sale price, it was definitely awesome. It was outstanding. You couldn't ask for a better deal. Like I said, I think it was either $129 or $149. One of the 2 prices, but either way, it was a great price. Retail on it was still a little more than I wanted to spend, which is why I like to wait for sales to happen, especially when I'm going to make any kind of tool purchase. Because I'm just kind of like the rest of you. I'm a bit of a cheapskate, you know. I don't like to spend a ton of money on stuff. So, anyway, if I was to say a real retail price on this drill press of what it's really worth, I would probably say all day long, $200 is about what it's worth all day long as a brand new item. Okay, brand spanking new, fresh out of the box, full warranty with it. Warranty is only good to the name of the purchaser, so, you know, does have a 3-year warranty, I believe, on this one. It's not lifetime. They do have full parts support, and so that's also great. I like that idea. You know, full parts support is great. I don't like buying tools that don't have parts support, unless it's like a real piece of crap tool that, you know, I'm purposely buying just because I want that tool, and I know its limitations and it's crap, but, you know, it's a tool that I don't care about, but it's going to do a job for me cheap. Then that's one thing, but otherwise, anything that I'm doing larger purchases on, I would like to have parts support. And Mastercrafts are really good for their parts support. I really like them for that, so that's good. And they do have pretty good long-term support on their stuff, so I'm also happy with that too. But I think I'm going to have this drill press for quite a while. It does everything I need to do, okay? Especially for the stuff I do nowadays, it definitely covers it all. It's not a problem, so it's not undersized and it's not oversized. And it allows me, by having something like this sitting on a table, it's at a great height, which my other one was too, though it did take up a little less real estate in the end for the bigger one. What I like about this is, A, it fits my needs, but I also get to mount it on a table, which this table also still gets to be used for other stuff, where before, when I had the other drill press, now I'm losing space in here. So I'm trying to gain space and gain practicality in my shop. This is only a 12 by 12 shop. It's not massive. Okay, so I've got to be careful with, oh, I got a bumblebee in here. So I got to be careful with what I do with tools for size and everything in here, and I'll be okay. So anyways, 4 out of 5 is a good rating for it. Price is great and everything else. Great tool. Take a look at it, especially if you're a Canadian. You'll be able to get it. Otherwise, hey, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.